is the entrance to the park. This was all covered with blackberry brambles and salmonberry. Didn't even know there was a creek here. There's the creek right there, and it goes around through the peninsula, which again was covered. We didn't even know it was there. Beautiful, beautiful walk, especially now. Don spent a lot of time, probably hundreds of hours out here. This little swampy area right here is one of the few times we can actually walk over it without it being wet. There's what we called the fire pit, campfire. And that side, you can see if you look really closely, you'll see our little house there. This side Don cleared, one of his more recent ones. And this is the entrance to Lindy's Lane, the trail marker that Don made out of willow sticks. And I'm just going to walk. This is right here. I'm walking over some bricks from some original, I guess a building of some sort. This is, again, was all hand done by Don to get through. Here's an area where he got through this massive cedar to get through, and this was as far as the trail went, probably the first year. And then this one is Lindy's Lane. This was a coyote trail, I think. Here's the entrance. This was covered. You had to climb over a log, but you can see that Don has cut open that log there, through there. That's a huge log when you look at it. It's actually an old growth cedar that had been fallen. And then he takes us on and around. Found this path, and I told Don this is what I'd like for Christmas. So he spent a couple months and clearing off this area so that we could get it, because I had found, when I had first discovered this area, this old growth tree trunk. Now here is an example of corduroy road that he made over swampy areas using sticks and stuff, and go around that way, but he sort of cleared it more this way. But look at, I'll try to move that up. That doesn't help much. It's probably confusing, but you can see there's a nurse tree growing out of this old growth stump. And then we move around here, and I always thought it would be cute to have little elves and things in those little areas. Never got around to picking any up. Maybe this afternoon I'll go to the dollar store, see what I can find for $1. Anyway, this travels around. I'm turning. I have to watch. Usually I have walking sticks here, and it helps. But this is another area that was all covered. You can see corduroy road. This area is fun. He planted some grass, and then there's lemon balm, and it has grown so well because of the swampy area. Oh, there's where he put the welcome. Glenn made this, and we had it and enjoyed it for so long, but eventually it rotted and fell apart, and a little bit too difficult to fix. So we thought we'd leave it as a reminder or memento of who was here. I love this spot because this is like that archway. And again, the little creek that sort of came down here, rivulet, I guess you'd call it, a rill. And he cleared all of that out and planted grass. And you can see there a big tree that came down in the last windstorm. Fortunately, it landed exactly right. There's another big tree over there, too, that came down in another windstorm. Oh, here's another view of from this direction, of the old growth stump. Going back on through. Oh, this is so much fun. I love this. Just the ferns, the smells. I wish I could put smells into this little video. There's upstream. And you can see up there, we're in the valley. And just love these areas where they ferns grow out of the tree. They're covered with moss. They'll grow almost anywhere. And again, you can appreciate the thickness of the underbrush and how it was. This side was just like that side. And Don was determined, and he did it. This is that spot where I had said his trail had gone to that first year. Only is coming from the other direction, of course. We're going to be retracing our steps now backwards. Another old growth. But I remember coming through here and saying, "There's nowhere else to go, Don. That's all." This is a big old growth cedar tree that's growing up. I love this one too. Again, another tree growing out of it. Eventually, those roots will be. It'll be standing up. Here's another picture, a view of our creek. Water's pretty low now. We've had a drought all summer. Show you one more old growth stump with this one that's even clearer with the roots that are growing over the old growth cedar. And just imagine what that'll look like when that old growth stump cedar eventually decays completely. There's in the distance, you can see, maybe I can get back there a little bit closer, not much, a little bit of a view of another old growth stump, and again, what this area was like, with even more leaves, of course. I love that area. Didn't think that he'd do that. And we're back. Don would often come down here with his cigar and his scriptures, and he'd sit on that little chair that he found. That was someone's garbage, but Don always finds garbage that he can use. And he'd sit there and smoke a cigar and read his scriptures, and just always think of the song, the second verse of da 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 da, Mockingbird Hill, la 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 la, and talks about surveying all his views. I think of that when I'm out here. There we go. There, isn't that beautiful? This is the park again, and that whole area there, I still can hardly believe that. This most recent clearing that he did. These trees, you hardly knew they were here. In the spring, though, you get hundreds of little daffodils growing up, obviously, with that June and Dick planted at some point in time. The park, she used to say that she'd go down there with her 5 kids, lay out a blanket on a hot day, and they'd swim in the creek and just enjoy. They'd fall asleep. Some of them would fall asleep, and she'd have a few moments to herself. And I'm coming back out of the trail and back to our beautiful home in Langley, BC. Oh, there's another old growth stump in the distance, you can see. And some of the old trees that have fallen down. There's some cut up stumps from one tree that fell down in the middle of the night. And there's our little house. It's not so beautiful from this side. Maybe I've got enough space. I think I can get around to the front. And just, oh, there's some ducks. Oh, Don loved his ducks. Sometimes we'd have 70 ducks down here because he fed them. And, I need to look at this pumpkin. How can I not pick that? We had lots of zucchini. This pumpkin was a mistake, an accident. I don't even know how. I suspect the mistake is in the seed factory, because I bought zucchini seeds. Of course, they look similar, but also could have been from compost. We did use a compost here. There's our mailbox, 23062, 48th Avenue. Not as beautiful as usual because we've taken a bunch of stuff down and it's piled up. But really, how could you ask for anything nicer? In the distance. Oh, and I don't know that I can get a picture of this tree, but there's a couple others here that I think I'm probably running out of space from the looks of it. Spider. Lots of little creatures. Don't know if he's going to show up or not. Big, beautiful trees. Okay, and that's it, I think.